This is the director's cut for the short film When Did Music Become Murder. For the opening scene, we just had me driving the car and the sounds of inside the car being the main part of the sound. We didn't use any Foley for this part, but the Foley we was looking up, we didn't know how to create an outside type of ambience, so we looked it up and we went out and filmed some stuff when in the wind and our footsteps outside and our footsteps inside also. The second scene that's at 50 seconds has me getting out the car and being found by a load of reporters. We added some flashing camera sound effects, and we also added the reporter having the microphone right in front of Red's face, so it looks like an actual reporter chatting to him. Him looking directly at the camera, so he's addressing the camera. We added some different MIDI notes to create tension. The next scene involved me in the booth, and we had my beat playing in the background to act as the main song, and we faded the track down as he was taking his headphones off, so it would replicate that exact thing of the sound, of how the sound would go down after you lift off your headphones. To create the sound of the headphones tangling up, we did the same thing. We got some headphones and we moved the wires around. The problems that we faced was just getting the correct Foley. So researching how to do outside and inside Foley. So yeah, we added a lot of Apple sound effects. So the phone ringing, the text messages going off. So at 2 minutes, we added in some sounds of the outside, so birds and the wind and footsteps, to create that outside vibe. And we also added some rustling leaves to create the effect of Matt walking through some leaves when he's hiding in the bushes. So I think that worked very well. It worked really good. So, and we kept that, and that was something we was very pleased with. Next scene at 2 minutes 50, we have the sound effects of Apple coming through again, where we did the phone ringing, and yeah, it sounded good. At 3 minutes, the next scene at 3 minutes was just of me about to discover my stalker, and for this we added some really low octave notes of the piano to create like a really almost like a scary presence. And I walk round the corner very fast, then Matt comes round the corner acting as the stalker and gets me scared basically, and it fades to black after he does the gunshot type thing. The next scene involved Jonah in the studio, who was playing my producer. He was playing a beat with a beat playing in the background. I walk in from behind. We added some Foley of the studio doors closing, which sounded good, and we also added in some Foley of me sitting down on a chair, the movement of chairs, and me putting on my hat and taking off my hat, which was quite hard because we had to put the microphone right next to my hair basically and throw the hat onto my head so it would actually make a noise. But it sounded good. Next scene after that, 4 minutes 20, we recorded me in the studio, kind of going through phases after hours because I'm having problems with writing a track because the guy has kind of shaken me up a little bit. We added my beat in the background as well, and we also started moving some paper around because I hand the paper to my producer, and we moved the paper about, scrunched it a little bit so it would just sound like we're handling paper, so that worked well. I also recorded myself touching fists with myself because I spud Jonah in the film, and it just sounded well. So the next scene, around about 4 minutes 50, involved me walking towards the door. So we just recorded in the MIDI room some footsteps, and then we automated it so it sounded like I was walking off. Scene after that, 5 minutes 15, we recorded me standing outside, and we had the same ambience of the birds singing and everything, and we also added some effects of some automatic doors opening. So the scene after at 5 minutes 40, was the fire in the booth scene. So we had me in the booth, and we edited in some videos of Charlie Sloth, a Radio 1 DJ, acting like he's talking to me. So we wanted to kind of make it look very official and professional. So then I did my fire in the booth, and 6 minutes I'm in the booth, and I'm just spitting over a normal chat, just sending for this guy, and then it eventually fades to black. Then we also added in Charlie reacting to the video, clapping, so it just looked really professional. And we also added in the BBC One Radio 1 extra sound effect at the back. So then one of the final scenes is we added in the clock again, but this time kind of signifying the countdown to the end of Red's life. We wanted to make it a bit dramatic, so then we had my phone blowing up, so people reacting to my fire in the booth after, really enjoying it. And we had some of the Apple's notification sounds come up on the screen, the sound effects, so it made it sound like I was actually answering my phone.